Hello and welcome. I'm Tom. I'm joined here by Saigan,
Hi.
and we are going to do a bit of basic canvassing. We're here on the Leonardo community page. We're going to swap over to the canvas editor. You may still have an old image in here from the last time you had it open last year. If so, you can download it and then remove it. In my case, I rarely use it. There's nothing in here. So we're going to go grab the image we need to edit.
One thing to keep in mind with Canvas is that it records your history of what you last did. So, if by accident, let's say your internet drops or you accidentally close the page, don't worry, don't freak out. Your work is not gone. Just open up Canvas again and it's all still there.
That is good news. So it has an autosave built in.
It is
Uh,
highly dependent on your cache. So that's another thing if you have trouble with Canvas for any reason, just clear out your cache, clear out your cookies, and that should fix it.
that is good advice. So the very most basic thing you need to know in Canvas is you have this little square here. That's your generation frame. Whenever you hit generate in Canvas, nothing happens outside of this square. So it's important that if you want to edit something in the image, that something is in the square. I chose this image, this logo of a dragon I made a couple of months ago. I remember generating it and not liking this one arm down here and this little tail that looks like a palm tree. So I'm gonna get those removed from this image. Let's have a quick look at our basic tools here. We have the selection feature. We have a mask, we have an erase, we have a sketch tool, and we have a option to add text, which we will not be using. So for this image where we just want something removed, we're going to use the erase tool, and we're just going to, for starters, erase the part we do not like. And just for experimentation's sake, I'm not even going to write a prompt, I'm going to make a space in there. I've chosen the model the image was originally created with, although that's not mandatory. Saigan, should I be changing in paint, out paint to anything?
No, you can leave it as is. If you were going to add a prompt, that's when you would switch your out paint to in paint.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. No prompt, just a space. We're going to generate and see what happens. All we've done is we've erased some of the features we do not like. And the options we have available now, this part already looks pretty smooth. Let's just grab that.
Yeah, it really did get rid of what you wanted to get rid of.
Yep, we removed the arm, and now I'm not really happy with this blob here. So let's see if we can change that down even more. Before we erased it, now we're going to try sketching over it to see if it has the same effect. I'm going to grab one of the background colors and just paint over, grab the color. Okay, it switched over manually, my bad, lack of experience. And I'm just going to do a vague overpaint with the colors already in the image. I'm doing this very broadly, just so you get the gist of it. This color next. Yep.
Now, the sketch tool, just so people know, there is a masking that happens around the sketched area. So, in theory, you don't have to mask anything over a sketch, it just does it automatically. However, if you see that it's not blending very well with the rest of the image, that's when you can go in with the mask and go over your sketch area just to kind of help the AI out, saying that, yes, I want to change this. But just using sketch all by itself, it has a built-in mask.
Exactly. I'm going to show you a graphic in a second where all these infos are also written down. It's not completely ready for use yet, but it'll be made available on the Discord sometime soon, hopefully the coming week. I've sketched over the undesirable parts of this dragon that I didn't like. I've still got the one space in the prompt. Hitting generate, see what happens. I don't like this spike. I don't like this tail fin.
I know, I kinda liked number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah, it just kinda looks like it extends his body a little bit, and then kind of that little part is like a tail.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'll accept this. How do I grab the selection pan again? Okay, right, with the selection thing, obviously. Anyway, and that's this image done. We removed the claw that we didn't like, we made the tail look a bit less like a palm tree, and the image is now exactly how I liked it. I'm gonna grab this and we'll move on to the next image.
And those simple fixes took less than a few moments. So when you're going into Canvas, don't be overwhelmed by, little small fixes because they're really easy to do and they're really fast. And they cost less tokens editing in Canvas versus just regenerating over and over again until you get that perfect image.
Exactly. I'm sure if I knew what I was doing a bit more, if I had a bit more practice in this, it wouldn't have taken half as long as it did now. Right, I promised you a brief guide image. Let me just put this in Canvas. This was made by one of our moderators, Puka. There is an older image in circulation where these informations are on. Puka redesigned it since there is one tiny change I wanted her to make. It basically summarizes what the tools do. Again, this image will be made available on the Discord as soon as it's completely finished, but I was given permission to show this. As I said, inside this little square is where all the action happens, and this image just describes what every kind of tool in this little square does. So as we saw, erased space will be filled in with whatever I prompt for. What it means by no transparency in generated images is if there's nothing there, so if there's something that's erased and there's just blank background, that will be replaced with something new that will be generated over. Masked space, which is something we'll get to with our next example, gives the AI to change the permission to change what's there. So it'll change what's in the image to adapt better to what is added to it. If an image is unmasked, it won't be changed. And then we get to the fun parts that are when the selection frame is over, for example, the edge of the image. So it's not completely in the image, it's going over. In this case, I have an unmasked edge. If I hit generate, it would extend the image into this square. Whereas if I masked this edge, well, it would also generate over, but it would be a bit more smooth about it. The final line sketched areas, that's where we draw over, like we did with the dragon just now. That is the same as if it were masked. So it gives the AI permission to change that bit of the image and nothing else. And that's basically the guide document. Again, this will be made available in the Discord soon.
Can you post that in the chat, that picture, so people can click on it and read it?
I have permission to do it, although it is unfinished, so don't share it anywhere else just yet. This was made by Puka, all credit to Puka.
Young B reminds me that there are some keyboard shortcuts. I don't tend to use them very often myself, so I can't be a really good expert on explaining them. There are definitely some key bindings that you can use. When I have a list, I can tell you guys about it.
This is the next image we're going to be having some fun with. We're going to do something fashionable with the outfit of this lady. Alright, let me zoom in a bit. Again, all the changes happen exclusively inside this generation frame, so anything outside will not be affected. We have Willow in chat, who did a lot of this in our last stream. Just as a short recap, I'm gonna try to do the same. For a start, let's try to recolor this handbag, purse, whatever you wanna call it. I like blue, so let's grab a nice shade of blue. And I believe this image selection, the top row obviously is the color you want, the bottom row is transparency. Am I right in that?
Yes, that is correct.
Good, so if I select a more transparent dark blue to paint over this bag, yep, it's slightly more transparent. I'm gonna do a very rough job of painting over this thing. Right, the bag is painted over in a transparent blue, so Sagan, would you recommend going with a prompt this time or just a space again?
I would first do just the space to see, what our result is going to be.
Okie dokie, let's see what happens. So all we did was sketch in a transparent blue over this bag. And hopefully we're gonna get some blue bags now. Okay, that's not entirely, that's completely different, although I like it. Hang on, let me zoom out a bit. Doesn't look too good up close.
So that is what you get with no input whatsoever on the prompt. We asked, we just covered it up with blue and then we just asked the AI to do what it wants. And that's what it came up to. But as you're putting in the prompt in now, blue leather bag, This is when you would flip off out painting and put in painting in. And now the AI is going to be more directed on what it's going to do.
How do I toggle those again? Oh, right there.
Yeah, right there.
The Kino, I think I did it generated this on Vision, although it shouldn't really matter. I've prompted blue leather handbag. Generate. Okay, that's slightly more like it. Very shiny.
It's giving you technically what you wanted. It is a blue leather bag.
I'm going to accept that. So let's give her a matching blue hat to her blue bag.
I agree, because nobody who is a redhead should ever wear a hat the same color as their hair. That's so tacky. I kid.
Sketch tool, same blue, I assume is okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do the whole hat in the same blue shade. Going over the edges slightly. Let's not worry about that too much.
The good thing about Canvas as well is that you don't have to worry about being precise. The AI kind of understands like what area you want changed, especially if you have a prompt to guide it. So if, let's say, for example, if Tom were to take his blue brush and like paint something outside of the hat that's blue just by mistake, but he still has the blue hat prompt in his generation window, the AI will know that that little blue part is probably a mistake and won't generate it.
I did not know that I can paint over the same thing twice when I'm using transparent and get it darker and darker. That's a new experience. Good to know. So if I wanted this stripe to be darker, I could just do this.
Ooh,
One
yeah.
more for good measure. Right,
Maybe we can
now
get the AI to understand that that's a crease.
I'm just gonna prompt for a blue fedora and hit generate. It's unique. One's a bit better. I mean, we're getting the rough gist of it. I'm not looking for absolute perfection at the moment. She's got a blue hat and she's got a blue bag now. Very happy. Let's try one more edit in this image before we move on to potentially the final one. Let's remove this car from the background. I just thought of that. So again, we're going to put the frame over the car. As the guide image said, we can either sketch over the car in the image of the background, or we can erase the car and see what happens. Let's do the easier part first. Let's try erasing it, see what happens. And let's just give it one space as the prompt, see what happens. I still don't quite grasp the difference between in paint and out paint, but let's just check these options first.
Yeah, the best rule of thumb is if you're asking the AI to add something, meaning that you're adding a prompt to the generation window, that's when you in paint because you're asking to put something in it. But if there's nothing in that generation bar is when you say outpaint it, meaning I don't want this thing here.
Okay, so the car's gone. Now I want to make this road a bit smoother. Do I want in paint or out paint?
You would want in paint because you're putting, well, actually, are you going to put a prompt in?
I'm gonna sketch over this in grey.
All right, you just put outpaint.
Out paint is now on. And like I just said, I'm just gonna grey over this. 1 second, I'm not quite done. And I'm gonna give the AI permission to change the edges just to make it that little bit smoother. Right, and still no prompt. Generate. What do you think? 3 or 4? I think 4. Yeah, 4.
It's kind of hard since it's like there's that depth of field, so it's blurred.
Right, now, question. When I download this, will this thing be in it?
Sometimes you will get artifacts that download with the picture. But the good thing is that you can select that and delete it.
How would I do that, Saigan?
You click on it
Do I click on it with the hat, with the pen, or with the select?
with the
Oh,
select. There you go. And then you just delete button.
delete button on my keyboard?
Yep.
And that's gone. Did not know that. Learn something new every day. Thank you, Sagan.
Yeah, sometimes those little artifacts will show up and then you'll download the image and there'll be like this big empty space with one black dot.
I'm gonna download this one as well. And let's move on to the final image, or shall I say the final 2 images. I'm gonna add one image to another. So, Sagan,
Merging.
if I want to add image B onto image A. Which one should I put in the canvas first? Is there a recommendation?
It really doesn't matter the order, not too much anymore. You just have to make sure that both images are downloaded onto your computer,
Yep.
and you
So
just
should I just
yep,
grab one?
just grab whichever one you want.
Okay, I'm gonna grab this one, the plain white t-shirt, and I'm gonna put a little icon or logo on. I will grab the second image now from my computer. Yes, please. I want to put this one on. I would have to shrink.
Yes, but move
Just
it
get,
off of the image so you can grab it easier. Oh, yes, D reminds me there is the layering system that is fairly new because it wasn't there before, and you can use the little bracket keys.
I don't have bracket keys. Wasn't there like a key combination that Willow used in hers? Was it Control Z or something? Yeah, I don't have those brackets on my keyboard, I'm afraid, so let's not worry about that for now.
Okay, that is
Anyway,
for the advanced tutorial.
exactly, this is just the crash course. Anyway, we've put one cool little emote on his t-shirt, why not put a second one on? It was so easy and quick, let's grab another. Let's grab a little raccoon as well. The perfectionist in me doesn't like how they're clearly just put on top of each other, so how do I make these look slightly more natural? I'm going to assume using the mask feature, and I'm just going to try to go over the edge of these. See what happens when I generate them onto the shirt properly. I'm just going around the edges very broadly. I'm gonna hit nope, I'm not gonna hit generate. I need to find out where the generation frame's gone. There it is. Rookie mistake. If I had hit generate there, nothing would have happened. It might have done something over here.
You would have gotten a random picture to the side.
Okay, we need to zoom in slightly more to see what happened. So I masked the edges and it blended it a bit better into the shirt, although at the cost of a bit of detail. So let's see if any of the others are slightly better. Not particularly.
With something like this, what I would suggest is after you get your picture, I would probably erase the shirt underneath a little bit and leave the actual cartoons alone.
Oh, that's an idea. So you would say, take these out of the way, erase the shirt under it.
Yep, just a little bit, not you don't have to go hog wild. Just kind of in the area where you want these pictures.
So kind of like this.
A little much, but that's okay.
Okay, again, we're not going for perfectionism here, or we'd be here all day knowing myself.
You could probably make him bigger to fit into the square better.
Right, and now anything else, Sagan?
Probably a little bit with the sketch tool just to get rid of some of this black, just to let the AI know this is still a white t-shirt. We don't want to put something crazy in those areas.
Rightio, give me just a second.
Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little bit.
Yep. As Sagan said, does not need to be perfect, although I am trying pretty hard to get it that way.
Believe it or not, the AI is pretty smart, and so it usually picks up what you want to do.
Okay, so kind of like this.
Yeah, pretty much that will work.
Now let's just see about that.
Oh, it doesn't fit. Okay, this is a perfect example. So your box is a little bit too small for the entire generation. So there's a little sizing tool to the right where you can manipulate the size of the box.
We want it to make it a bit wider, so let's just give it a bit more. Is it width? Yep, width is the word. The higher you set your aspect ratio, the less images you're able to make at the same time. Sagan, anything else before I hit generate?
No, let's just see what happens.
Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, I don't know where the glass bauble came from, but it's nice.
I kind of like the very first image, what it did with the mini Tom.
I don't know why there's an image of lungs down here now, but sure. I guess that's where they
Yeah,
would be.
the AI is just trying to fill the space. Oh, that's cool. With a little, he's
Yeah,
sitting on a mushroom.
marvelous. Kind of like how he cut his way onto the shirt with his lightsaber.
Yeah, if you had a prompt in there saying, white t-shirt with logos, it or just plain white t-shirt, it'd probably, fill in the white a little bit better.
Oops.
That is another thing to mention. So just now you saw that Tom separated the old image from the what was generated. Technically what you're doing when you're generating from this box is that you're adding layers to the picture. So technically, you could go back through the layers and find the one that you like the best if, let's say you made a mistake and you want to go back a couple steps. You can do that.
That's a good point. And with that, I think we've done everything in Canvas that I wanted to do in this little session. This is our little helpful guide image that will become available soon. We hope you were able to learn a couple of basics alongside me. Thank you, Saigan, for being here to teach. And thank you, you guys in chat, for being helpful as always. We hope to see you in another stream soon. Thank you.